Hi, if you have a Duke University NetID due to COVID-19, my center is providing you remote access to stata from a Mac or a PC. So even while physical access to our lab is closed, the Center for Data and Visualization Sciences is providing a limited number of stata images for data-intensive work. First, I'll do a quick demo. Following that, I'll provide some more detail and an explanation. So let's get started. All right, the steps are listed on your screen. I'll provide links in the description. But step one is to reserve a virtual machine. So you can go to vcm.duke.edu and log in with your NetID. And then you're going to click Reserve a VM. If you're a regular user of the virtual machine system, you may have to ask OIT to give you another slot, and you can check the help in the facts for who to contact at OIT. But click Reserve a VM and scroll down until you see the option Stata 16 SE Library Only, and click Reserve. Read and agree to the license. Now this can take some time to power up, and when it powers up, you'll have access for 6 hours before it automatically powers down. You can power it back up, provided there are enough licenses open. It's also worth pointing out, no data will be lost, but computation or data generation that occurs during the power down will not persist. But you have access to the CIFS drive or Duke.box, and you can save your scripts and data, so you're not going to lose anything. Okay, so it's already powered on the first time I reserve a VM, and I'll have that virtual machine for the remainder of the semester. But it will power down at the end of 6 hours, and you're encouraged to power down when you're done working because that makes it available to other people. Now that I have a VM domain name, I'm going to use that to connect to the remote machine. But first, I have to connect to the Duke VPN. Right, so you'll see that on your screen. You can Google Duke VPN and you can see how to connect to the VPN. I'm going to go over here and click on my Cisco VPN client and connect. And now that I'm connected, I can use a remote desktop connection client to connect to the virtual machine. So I already have that client downloaded. I'm just going to type remote, click on that client, paste in the domain name, and click connect. It'll challenge me for my NetID password again. And this first time it connects, it can actually take some time, 5 minutes or less. Okay, as you can see, I'm now looking at a Windows desktop. What you just saw there is it connected to a data drive. I can click on this minimize bar and go back to my Windows computer, or Alt-Tab and go back to the remote computer. To launch Stata, I'm going to click on the Start menu and type Stata, and choose Stata. And I can configure this any way I want. Let's see if we can load some data. First, let's look at the file manager, and you'll see that OIT has automatically connected me to my CIFS space, and I have some sample data already ready to go. So let's just load that. You can see how that works. So let's just import that. Import CSV file, sample data, open, okay. Right, and if I click on the data browser, I can see my data. All right, so you can see how you can import your data from the CIFS drive, or if you were on a box drive, you can move it onto the desktop and then move it back. Of course, you can save your scripts to the box drive or to the CIFS drive or to the desktop. You just don't want to be computing when it powers down at 6 hours. But now that I'm done, I actually want to, even if I haven't worked for 6 hours, I want to power down my system because I want someone else to be able to use the slot. If I go back here to the virtual machine and hit refresh, just to be safe, I'll power off. And that will make sure that there's a slot open for everybody. Okay, if you need more information about accessing your CIFS drive from anywhere, you can look here. There's the OIT information about CIFS, and of course, there's the box folders. So I said I would provide a few more tips. All right, so these Stata instances are Windows computers. They're in the cloud, and again, you can access them remotely as a virtual machine from a Mac or a PC. You have a total of 6 computing hours per session. At 6 hours, the remote Stata image will automatically power down. No data will be lost, but computation or data generation occurring during the power down will not persist. So you want to save often, make sure you put it in the CIFS drive or the box drive. If you put it on the desktop, it will still be there when you are able to power back up again. The VM can be powered back up again, but you're advised to save your scripts in it. To be safe, save your work as you normally would, such as to your CIFS drive or to a cloud service such as Duke Box. As I noted, there are a limited number of images. So if you're powered down, you can log back in as soon as the slot becomes available. A slot might be available immediately. This metered access is required to enforce software license restrictions. In terms of configuration, the remote computer will have 16 gig of RAM, a licensed copy of stata, and MS Office. You can install other things on the computer if you wish, and this was brought to you by the Center for Data and Visualization Sciences, part of the Duke University Libraries.